quite a bit of time, and it's quite a bit of time to fill. 1993, 70-year-olds look like the way 95-year-olds do now.
Yeah.
And now 70-year-olds are whores.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
We are younger. I don't think, I'm not going to walk around being like, oh, 40 is the new 30.
Right.
Just because I'm turning 40. But I do think that I could say, hey, 40 is
young.
not 40 anymore.
Yeah, 40 is.
How we plan the staging of our life. I try not to graft onto life plans. I've never been a fan of the whole like 5-year plan thing or
Sure.
I'm not saying I like chaos. I just think that, trying to like concentrate all of your energy and all of your thoughts onto something following a sequence is detrimental, both spiritually and psychologically. And I think that people who do that often either end up disappointed or become villains.
Yeah, yeah.
They become crazy. And so I think that for me, it's all about looking at the ramifications of like, all right, well, does that mean we're going to be working longer? We're probably going to need to think about being more active grandparents.
Right.
Than,
more generations
coming through. Where, what does that mean for relationships in general?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And how are they looked at?
I mean, relationships, if you're going to be in a long-term relationship, you're going to have the people who I've observed, and I've got a big data pool, the people I've observed have the happy long-term relationships. They have different relationships with the person they're with. If you're going to have somebody in your life for 30 years, you're going to have probably 6 different relationships with that person.
Sure.
The people who can't cope with reinventing the relationship always struggle. They always, that relationship is always like, it's teetering over the edge, because they only know how to be one kind of person and do one kind of thing. And so how do we keep reinventing things? When people like to have the nerve to talk about traditional family, that's not even what it is.
Right.
Because the nuclear family model, the nuclear family expectation, it's less than a century old. How traditional is that?
Right, it's not.
It's not.
Not at all.
It's not traditional. You know what actually a traditional family looks like? It'd be like you, your spouse, your kids. And then living in that same house with you would be your sibling, your cousin, or your best friend, and their spouse, and their kids.
Right.
And then maybe somebody's elderly parents, maybe everybody's elderly parents.
Yeah.
And then across the street, somebody else is doing the same thing, and then across the street, somebody else is doing the same thing. And so it has nothing to do with trying to emulate what you see on TV or what was getting cooked up in the 50s. In fact, I think that the reason we have such a lonely society is because we're trying to do the nuclear family model. And then we want to call that traditional. It's like, no, you can't rebrand it as traditional when you don't know what you're talking about.
That's true.